checking for needle marks, prepping a shelter for homeless, or running an addict recovery meeting. These are all average days for frontline workers. Bringing this care to the next level is the role of Trauma Informed, an Edmonton conference.
There's a number of social services, health and government services that work with different vulnerable populations, and I think it's very important that people who work in these sectors do have some understanding of trauma and how to approach this work from a trauma-informed perspective.
Here they are providing education and tools to assist frontline workers in better understanding historical and cultural trauma.
There are a number of immigrants and refugees who come to Canada fleeing violence and war and persecution in their home countries, as well as vulnerable youth who are coming through the child welfare system or from domestic violence.
The number of kids in care that are Aboriginal is 68%.
I sat in on the session with Patty Labacan Benson from Native Counselling Services, and she talked about trauma from in the Aboriginal community from a historical perspective. And that really hits home for me as an Aboriginal woman. And I really appreciated that she was able to take these very complex issues around historical trauma and break them down in a way that people can understand and relate to.
Just a year ago, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission wrapped up in Edmonton. On days like today, the healing process of residential schools are continuing.
There was an awareness that came out of that the social issues that we see in our community are really directly related to historical trauma.
With residential schools, it became very evident that there was a lot of undealt with trauma in the Aboriginal community. So approaching things from this trauma-informed perspective is definitely something that's cropping up in a lot of different Aboriginal services and organizations, and that universally translates across the board to working with people who are fleeing violence.
As the knowledge and understanding of problems grow, so does the desire to learn how to solve the problem.
It's sort of taking it from the frontline workers to the organizations and to the funders who fund the organizations.
REACH, Edmonton's Council for Safe Communities, will be holding more conferences of this magnitude throughout the year. In Edmonton, I'm Bianca Jade.